Greetings, one and all, to the most cursed, cringiest corner of the internet. A YouTube channel content creator actively alienating everyone in both the analog and digital worlds. This is the second half of me failing the German language. Now, I was considering doing Vater Unser, but I decided maybe I should do Mitternacht. Now, as for Mitternacht, I practiced it like twice, and then I had to do some driving and do some errands. So, probably should have practiced it again before trying to do the video, but like I said, I was gone for a couple hours or something. I had stuff I had to do in the three-dimensional world. Anyway, let's hop into this, okay? I can't sing. This is terrible karaoke shit, and I don't know how to speak. I don't know how to speak German. Mir no sprechen Sie Deutsch. Not that that would really help, because even stuff in my own language, well, honestly, I can't even say I command use of, I feel like one day I'm just going to beat myself on a fucking thesaurus as I struggle to actually enunciate those words. It's my own fucking language. That being said, even though I don't have any, command, full use, utilization of other languages, I do find a fascination in other languages and all sorts of things. Whether it's Dungeons and Dragons books, Warhammer, fanfiction, anime, creepypastas, Pokemon. And I don't mean just the creepy story, I mean wholesome stuff. Main point, it's nice to read things, and it's nice to have an interest even in fictional languages, such as Draconic, Elvish, or Dwarvish. Because, you can actually find those alphabets in your Dungeons and Dragons handbook. Though if you're going to write Draconic, you actually have to have very impeccable handwriting, almost to the degree of calligraphy. So, I don't know. Like I said, I figured to give this a shot. Probably should have practiced it a bit, but hey. So how's everyone out there doing today? I have my headphones set back up. Stuff ready on my phone. But yeah, let's hop into this. It's going to be terrible, by the way. I can't sing, and I don't speak German, and I can't pronounce any of these words correctly. Like at one point during the song, I remember there being a word that I'm going to pronounce as anime. I'm pretty sure that's not how I'm supposed to pronounce it. I think this whole video and the one before it, just me making people cry because I can't say German words correctly. Once I'm trying, but I don't think that makes it any better. Okay. Okay, get the right mindset. Let's do this. Mitternacht. I told you, I can't do fake laugh. Mitternacht. Bendigonen, Tau, Tragen, und das Hart, der Koten klagen, tief im Nacken, das Grauen Herz. Wenn die Ohr beginnt sie schlagen. Karte liegt in Nebelschwalden, während ich sagt, Mitternacht, locker entferne Nacht, locker entferne Nacht, anime in Nebula, Mitternacht, media, nox obscura, nox credula, animarium, componus non judices, Mitternacht, media, nox obscura, nox credula, componus non judices, Mitternacht! There's be a better way for me to do that. Gretes das Bluten den schlut dir angstigel, so hast dir den Herzen Glocken schlagen, es nichts Mitternacht. Local ferner Nacht, local ferner Nacht, anime in Nebula. Mitternacht, ja, nox obscura, crocodile, anamium, capella, sonnet, duodeces, Mitternacht. I don't think my voice is meant to make that noise. Fuck! Mitternacht! Mitternacht! Fuck. Loca Inferna. Nacht. Anime in Nebula. Do 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 do. Assist Mitternacht! Media nox obscura, nox crudilis animarium, campana senato deces. Mitternacht! Ja, nox obscura, nox crudelitas animarium, campana sonat duocedes. Yeah, I can't do fake laughs. Okay. Anyway, that's my attempt at it. Yeah. At some point, I'll do the Chibi Zelos Insomnium video probably at some point tomorrow. One day, like I cannot recommend strongly enough the 90s anime Slayers. It is awesome. Has Lena Inverse in it. It's got 3 seasons that were properly animated, but it had tons and tons of light novels and movies. I think light novels are also ongoing. Plus, there's tons of fan fiction, especially the fan fiction that, well, I've recommended countless times. I believe it's by an author named Tuflorian, though I don't know if that stuff's even available anywhere on the internet anymore. And even if it is, I would still urge caution, because, I mean, if it is on any websites, it'd have to be like super old, and I don't know if they'd be very safe in terms of viruses or anything. So definitely exercise caution about that sort of stuff. But the fan fictions that you had for Slayers, there was a Reflection, Chaos, Rebirth, Demiurge, and Virtual. All absolutely amazing, incredibly long stories, very detailed, and the story points, even though it's a fan fiction, is on par to where, like I said, well, Demiurge, for the longest time I was pronouncing it Demiurge. Well, it's Demiurge, I think. I was pronouncing it Demiurge, but it could be either way. Depends on its spelling. I don't remember how it's actually spelled. So it might be Demi or it might be Dime.
And by dime, I mean, DEIM instead of, DIME. It's, I'm making a grammar joke now. I, what's, I, yeah, I guess that's about as funny as the rest of the jokes I'm making. Anyway, but yeah, it's just the author who wrote that stuff. It's absolutely amazing, though. Of course, in order to actually enjoy it, you'd have to actually watch the original anime, which it's 3 seasons. I believe are 26 episodes each. So I remember there being 3 movies and 3 seasons, and each season was 26 episodes. Now, of course, there were tons, like the anime was originally based off light novels. The same way Overlord and Ainz Ul Gone were originally based off light novels. Same thing with Reincarnated as a Slime. Originally that was more so light novels. Now, of course, there are tons and tons of Overlord light novels, not just what's in the anime. And, of course, the same is true of most things that get animated. Heck, there's lots of series out there, whether it's Tenchi Muyo or the Gundam series or Bubblegum Crisis, that get multiple reincarnations, if you will. Because it's not a reboot, because it's not just a retelling of a story, it's almost a reinterpretation with new paths, new characters, sometimes entirely new world building. Though some of them use a sort of re-imprinting of a same character from a previous series, but by using it in a new way that could have never existed in that original series, you're able to flush out the character in ways that would have never been possible. As well as you're able to hit a lot of the early plot points that normally you wouldn't be able to hit the same way more than once, because then you can only have a character run into a certain somebody the first time once per series, pretty much, right? But, and I'll say this, while I would say Tenchi Muyo OVA, the OVAs, the original video animations, as well as Tenchi Muyo Ryo-Oki being the main, and of course some of the interpretations of some of the shows, honestly, some are more palpable than others, and some are less. But, all in all, very enjoyable. I enjoy just different, especially the music that accompanies a lot of it. And that's kind of the roundabout point I was supposed to try to make with this idea, is that I'm wanting to try to sing the Japanese intro and outro songs for the Slayers anime. Though, of course, I could also try singing it in English, though I'm not sure how I would pace that. But, yeah, the intro and outro songs for the old 90s Slayers anime, which is, like I said, one of the greatest animes ever made. Like, I would strongly and of course, like, say, Bubblegum Crisis. There's multiple interpretations of Bubblegum Crisis. There's the original Bubblegum Crisis, and of course, you also have Bubblegum Crisis Tokyo 2040. Now, me personally, I prefer 2040. I prefer Tokyo 2040. I find it, the art style, preferable. Though, some people like the other art style better. I'm not saying the other art style is bad. I think, in fact, I would dare say the other art style, like both Bubblegum Crisis, are actually equal in terms of how good they are. It's just, I just had a special preference for Tokyo 2040 because it was the one I saw first. Even though it was a later series that was made much after, it was my introduction to the Bubblegum Crisis animes. And like I said, there's a lot of different anime out there, and of course there's some animes that are very similar. Take Ronin Warriors and Saint Seiya. Now, of course, both are absolutely amazing, and both of them are, not the same at all. But you can definitely draw parallels. Though, I mean, in the same regard, people could draw parallels to, say, Naruto and Dragon Ball Z, or One Piece, or Bleach. And that's not a bad thing. It's just saying you like this one anime and you like another anime, and you see, things in one anime that reminds you of another. That just means you're getting into it and you're enjoying it and you're trying to actually compare it to other stuff. Not because you're trying to nitpick, but because you're just trying to enjoy the anime that you're getting to watch, because it's a very enjoyable experience. It's just, it's just, yeah. But yeah, I would definitely very strongly recommend the Slayers anime. That was from the 90s. Like I said, it's 3 seasons. There are 26 episodes. Plus, it has 3 separate movies. It has tons and tons of light novels, tons of fan fiction. Absolutely wonderful. Though, like I said, the intro and outro songs for those anime series, I think I want to try to sing that. Of course, I can't sing Japanese. I don't even know really much yet, which is kind of weird that I really don't know how to speak Japanese, given the amount of anime I've watched. Granted, a lot of it's been dubbed, but a lot of it's sub. And some people say which is better, dub or sub. And honestly, I think it's amazing to be able to see both. Take the original Dragon Ball Z, not Dragon Ball, which that's good too. But here's the thing, Dragon Ball Z. Take the Android Zonga, like Android 19. What you have is you have the Funimation type music, then you have Bruce Faulkner, you have other American remixes of sort of a techno type sound, which actually I think is the one that's closest to heart for me, because that's really what I saw with Toonami on Cartoon Network back in the past. But there's also other music. For example, there's especially like the fight with Android 19 and the stuff with the semi-perfect and imperfect cell, the original Japanese music, not just the Japanese dialogue, which that's pretty good too. Because here's the thing. Take English. A lot of times over here, we get multiple different dubs. And I'm not just talking parody stuff like Team 4-Star or Go-Star, which those are amazing. I'm talking, Ocean, Funimation, Pioneer. Different dubs, different voice actors, and sometimes even different dialogues. They get translated differently, or perhaps some things get censored. It's kind of like how Master Roshi originally would be drinking beer, but sometimes it gets changed like soda pop or something. So, or like say Sanji for One Piece. Instead of smoking, he's got a sucker. Sometimes things get edited like that. But it's nice to see the different interpretations. Then there's also, take the Japanese dub, the original. But speaking of which, that's the thing I wanted to bring up as far as Japanese dubbing. Because aside from having the original Japanese voice, and of course multiple English dubs, and even dubs from other languages, there's also the fact that sometimes there are animes that are made either in America or Germany or in France or in England or anywhere, and they'll actually get a Japanese dub, which that's kind of an interesting point. Though it kind of reminds me of an odd thing. I remember at one point, hearing that the Japanese people refer to the show King of the Hill as American anime. And granted, I don't live in Texas. I've never really had occasion to go visit. I've heard they had great barbecue food, and they have Stone Cold Steve Austin. So that's 2 great things right there. That being said, I will say I'll disagree with one thing with Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't drink. So, if I ever met Stone Cold Steve Austin, I'd probably still have a beer with him. What am I fucking kidding? I don't. Granted, if Stone Cold tried to, ask me to smoke something, I'd be like, no, hell no. And I'm not suggesting anything illicit. I'm just saying, even if it was the cigarettes. But then again, I'm not much of a person to want to do stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure if I met Snoop Dogg, I'd be like one of the few people who probably tell him, no, I'm not going to smoke just because that's just not for me. But I imagine if Stone Cold Steve Austin offered me a beer, I'd probably fucking drink it. But I'm not a beer guy. I'm not an alcohol guy. I like me some ice cold Pepsi. Hey, let me open this door. Yeah, I tripped on my. I got a can of brisk iced tea with lemon. So I'll drink this. Could you imagine if there was somebody that did the stuff that Stone Cold Steve Austin did, like with the beers, like with chugging them and like throwing them and stuff in the ring, but with like a soda pop or a tea or something else? Which I just bring that up just because, it's not really, like I said, I don't drink. I have tried alcohol before, mind you, but it's never really been my interest. In fact, I can't even remember the last time I've had alcohol. I mean, aside from NyQuil, but I mean, usually that's preferable to, having a terrible fever and feeling like shit. So, heck, if I could, I would just prefer to not ever get sick ever. But I don't think I can control that. Well, I mean, I can take vitamin C, and I do, but I mean, there's only so much that vitamin C really does. I mean, it helps, but it's not a surefire thing. It's not gonna guarantee I don't get sick. Probably should eat healthier. Taking another sip of this tea. By the way, does this brisk iced tea count more as a soda or a tea? By the way, I like it. But it's just, I'm not sure what I'm talking about. I'm going to try the Japanese songs at some point. I don't know if I'll be any good at them. Oh, what am I kidding? I won't be. I'm just saying, I don't think I've attempted to sing something in Japanese before. So, I know we were saying Mitternacht earlier, and then I got off topic, so I'm not really sure what I've been talking about anymore, because I just sort of rambled on for a bit. I think the most recent things I was talking about is I like Pepsi, and brisk iced tea and stuff, and manga. I like anime, and I think Stone Cold Steve Austin is awesome. So he's cool. Stone Cold Steve Austin, Bill Goldberg, Hulk Hogan, Chris Jericho, The Undertaker, Mankind. No one else to really come to mind right now. But there's lots of other people. Yeah. I don't. Right. Right. Main thing was watch the Slayers anime. I think I don't know what to call it. I know one of the series called Try, Try, and then there's Breeze and Next, and there was also Slayers Revolution R. That was like a redo, or I can't remember actually. You think I would remember because it's an anime it's one of my, if not the favorite. But at the same time, it's just I can't really remember because I watched a lot of anime, so it's hard to keep track sometimes. But I know the main three ones, but I know they made a newer version of it in I think the early 2000s. So that's good too. But yeah, I can't speak German. I have 2 books on how to speak German. One is, and they're not really, I don't. Well, the funny thing is this. When I was in high school, I took 3 years of Spanish. I got 100% every year. By year 3, I was doing 500-word improv essays entirely in Spanish where you didn't know what you were talking about until right when they told you to write it. And I was able to do it. I don't remember any of it. I don't remember how to speak it at all. But that's one of those things. You don't use something, you don't remember how to do it. It's like hell. In school, I could do calculus and physics and shit. Now, if you gave me basic fucking math and fractions or, simple fucking chemical equations, I wouldn't know what the fuck to do. I wouldn't remember any of that. I would say like certain English things, though I'd say a lot of stories if you really wanted to get into like English literature stuff, you had to do it on your own because honestly, you really don't read that much in the American school system. But going and reading some Shakespeare, but you have to find the right version of it. And by right version, I mean one that's more modernized. Because if you ever try to read Shakespeare in like the old English, I'm like, I don't know what half these words mean. In other words, I'm like, I don't know how to pronounce this, or why is this word got so many apostrophes in it? Why? Why are there 6 goddamn apostrophes? It's my language. Why can't I fucking understand it? That being said, all around good story. Same way there's other stories that are amazing, such as Don Quixote, or take any of the old Greek stories, or one I would strongly recommend, an amazing story, The Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer. All around amazing. And I believe I've gotten off topic again. I don't know why I'm talking about old English shit. I'm trying to remember. I don't. I'm sure there was a reason I'm talking about this. Main point I'm trying to say about Japanese, I don't know how to speak it. I should from all the anime I've watched, but I don't. And then, like I said, the German language, I've never, taken any classes to try to learn it, but I have listened to a lot of Rammstein. So, from my understanding, I'm supposed to pronounce German words the way Till Lindemann does, but one, I'm not sure what dialect or accent of the German language Till Lindemann would count as. Like what? Because I imagine Germany has several different dialects and accents. The same way I think England has 4. I think England, or for easier purposes for everyone out there, Great Britain. I imagine Great Britain has like 4 different English accents. That say people from say Yorkshire or Bristol might sound a bit different, but I wouldn't know anything about that. Now me, the way I'm speaking right now, I feel to me, it's not an accent. This is just what's normal for me. This is what I, feel, that's how I talk. It's how, though I wouldn't say I necessarily talk like everyone around me, but then again, what can I say? I'm weird and I'm not normal. But this at least is normal for me, I guess. If that's ever a fucking case. I mean, if for it to be normal, it has to be a predominant fucking vernacular for me, doesn't it? And I don't even know what fucking counts for that. I don't know. But, the United States is a large place. I would dare say we at least have 30 distinct dialects. I mean, take somebody from California to Texas to Minnesota, or especially places like New Jersey or Florida or West Virginia, and people are going to talk radically different. Though I have seen videos of people from different states. And like I'll say this, I've traveled to some parts of America. I've been to New Mexico, I've been to a few other places, and I didn't have any trouble understanding people. I noticed that there were a few letters that maybe they had more of a longer or more sharp accent to, but for the most part, they spoke pretty much, what I was not too far off from the way I enunciate. But at the same time, I would say there's probably 2 distinct, whether it's the New Jersey accent / particularly, I would say even more so, an accent from Massachusetts. Like, I've heard videos of people from Massachusetts, as well as videos of people from the very deep, rural parts of, say, Kentucky or West Virginia. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the way they speak. That's just as valid of a use of the English language as I'm using. It's like, but then again, it's everyone in different regions. You eventually just sort of people would start to talk different because large distances between people happens. Now, granted, maybe the whole technological thing of everyone being able to communicate instantaneously via the internet, maybe that's either complicating it or simplifying it. I don't know. Maybe it's both. It's like, how can it be both? Because it is. But I don't know why that just made me think Gabriel Iglesias. I still think it'd be fun. I still think it'd be funny if you had Fight Club and you redid that movie, but you replaced Edward Norton with Jim Carrey, and you replaced Brad Pitt with Gabriel Iglesias. Like, just imagine that dialogue. Though, I still want to see Edward Norton come back. Since we have the multiverse in the Marvel Universe, I still want to see Edward Norton come back as Maestro Hulk. Because we can have multiple Incredible Hulks. But I'll say this, even if we had to have a movie with Maestro Hulk and we just had the one Hulk, for whatever reason, how can you have Maestro Hulk and not have other Hulks? I don't know. I'm just saying, I think Edward Norton. Then again, I remember Brad Pitt has that Bullet Train movie coming out. That looks like it could be very interesting. So, I'll probably check that out. I'm getting confused on what I was talking about. Something about the Japanese language. Fuck. Oh, right. Accents. Yeah, like American accents. Like I said, I'd say there was at least 30 distinct. Like, I would say Great Britain, like the English, which is it's still English. And of course, there's other countries around the world that they have people that speak English, but I would say they speak English with an accent, of their language. Whereas here in America or people in England, it's not an accent, it's more a dialect, because an accent is where you speak a language, but your phonetics are influenced by another language. Whereas how I speak my English compared to, say, somebody living in England, it's still English. It's not like neither one of us, neither me or somebody in Great Britain, is going to be speaking English differently because of an influence from another language. We're just going to be speaking English, but in a very different way. And there may be different words that are the same with the same meaning that I'll either spell differently or pronounce differently. And then, of course, there are some idioms and sayings between the Great Britain and America, where we just use different terms for things. And I think it's just an issue of distance. I mean, you take take just the way Old English has changed over time. Then you got to think about other things. There are some languages out there like dead, like take Latin. Latin's not really used very extensively. Like, there's not going to be a grocery store you walk into that you have to use Latin to buy something. Though most grocery stores, if they expect people of multiple languages, will be equipped for that just because it helps business. But take German or Spanish or French or Russian or Chinese or Japanese. I'd imagine any one of these languages has changed over, especially the languages that have been around for thousands of years. I mean, here's the thing. How would a person from modern Japan be able to, how well would they communicate with somebody, say, from feudal Japan? Then again, how well would somebody in modern America be able to communicate with somebody from even 100 years ago? Because, granted, the way people would pronounce certain things would be a little bit different. But again, it's just accents, dialects. It's kind of fascinating how even a language can be the same language, how it can change over time, and how if it goes apart on different distances of land, how people in one region will just start changing how they say it, and both will take different routes with how they say the same thing that's based off the same language. I don't know where I'm going with this. I just think it's interesting. I don't know. Oh, right. Dialects for other countries. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know how many dialects, but take, well, for example, Germany. Germany is still a fairly large country, so I imagine there's multiple dialects that exist in Germany. Same way, France. How many dialects, like if you take people that are in France and they've spoken French their whole life, they grew up speaking French from being children, how many different dialects of French are there? What about Spanish? What about Chinese or Russian or Japanese or other languages that I'm probably less familiar with? But it's interesting how there's different areas of the world that speak different languages, but even within the region that speaks one set language, you'll have people with different dialects or different ways of speaking it. What other countries are there that I can really think about? Well, what about Saudi Arabia? I mean, it's still a large country as well. So, I mean, would they have the same dialect everywhere? Are there different dialects? What else is there? Thailand? Well, Thailand's a pretty small nation, so they would all have the same dialect, correct? I mean, you'd have to have if they don't, that's interesting. They'd probably have to do with influence from other nations, though. What else is there? Canada? I mean, Canada, Mexico, two largest countries next to my own. I imagine Mexico has different dialects. And I imagine Canada as well. I believe most Canadians are bilingual, having the ability to speak French and English. I suppose while I have a fascination with many languages, a lot of times it's just an issue of I'm more interested in just having a sort of a general fascination with all of them, rather than just focusing on one in order to master it. I don't know. I believe I've gotten off topic. It's 40 minutes. Why did I take 40 minutes to rant? I'm sorry. I believe I got carried away. Anyway, I'm going to end the video before I ramble anymore. I hope everyone out there had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Bye, guys.